Why is a digital collection not NFT? There are several reasons why a digital collection is not NFT, but in most cases, the primary one is that it was released before the blockchain was created. The first and most important thing to remember about non-fungible tokens is that they were born with and live on the blockchain. They were not created by fiat or some other centralized institution, though many have been forked from Ethereum. The reason why it's important to understand that your NFTs were not created by fiat or centralized institutions is because of the implications in the case when an object has been digitized. From this point forward, all transactions involving your digital tokens must be recorded on the blockchain. This means that these transactions are immutable, and anyone can see them with a simple click of a button. Unsurprisingly, if a digital collection is not NFT-enabled, its owners will want to transfer ownership at some point. What are NFTs? Fungible tokens are a type of cryptocurrency that can be divided into parts, and each part is worth the same as the other parts. For example, let's say Bob wants to buy something from Alice. In traditional money systems, he would pay her, as long as they have an established system for value transfer. However, imagine instead that Bob wanted to buy a share of stock in Tesla Incorporated, TSLA, a company he doesn't know much about. He would instead need to find someone who owns stock in that company and ask them to sell him the share they own at a price agreeable to both parties. He would then need to physically send cash to that person so they could send him his shares. In this case, Bob has two options. He can either pay up front or pay in installments after the ownership of Tesla is transferred over by writing a check in their ledger. Because this process is so inefficient, fractional ownership of stocks has been introduced. This means that one share of stock can now be divided into smaller pieces, each worth less than the whole. If Bob wants to purchase a fraction of Tesla stock, he can buy a small fraction for a modest price. The value doesn't need to be defined in fiat because these fractions are on the same ledger. Fractional ownership is the primary reason one can buy fractional ownership of digital assets. The value of digital assets isn't stated in fiat because they are on the ledger. As long as they remain on the ledger, they are not NFTs. What is a digital collection? Digital collections are unique, just like physical ones. However, digital collections are not NFTs because they were born before the blockchain was created. This means that they were created by fiat or centralized institutions and did not live on the blockchain as NFTs, by definition. Instead, they are represented on a centralized ledger. Unsurprisingly, if a digital collection is not NFT-enabled, its owners will want to transfer ownership at some point. To transfer ownership of NFTs, users need to pay gas. The Ethereum virtual machine is the virtual computer that runs on the blockchain. It is used to execute smart contracts and other decentralized applications which run on the blockchain. How NFTs changed digital art. The concept of fractional ownership was initially explored in the art market when digital art was first made accessible to the masses. Because this type of ownership is much more efficient than traditional share purchase, it encourages people to buy fractional pieces of art, making the works themselves more valuable. Digital art has become an extremely popular form of investment. For example, a small piece of digital art by Street Art Meets Art, SAM, can sell for $20 to $30. However, a piece of concrete art by the same artist might sell for more than $1,000. Digital art is an asset that is easier to own and provides a tangible way to demonstrate ownership of an artwork. The ability to own something without having to physically own it allows individuals and companies worldwide to express themselves in the form of digital art and raise money through fractional investments. How NFTs changed the art market. Fractional ownership of digital art has given an entirely new meaning to the word art. The days of hanging a painting on your wall are over. It is much more common for people to have an entire digital art collection by one artist and keep those pieces in their private cryptocurrency wallet. The emergence of this technology gave investors a way to buy fractional shares in artists they love without having to own their artwork physically. Digitally owning the artist is enough. The largest reaction to non-fungible tokens, NFTs, transforming digital art and assigning value to items that were never considered assets is the massive changes that NFTs have brought to the art market. These changes have been the most significant reaction. For the most part, the traditional fine art market has relied on paper trails to establish the provenance of artworks. However, throughout the market's history, there have been instances in which forgeries can get past the market's safeguards and into circulation. When a collector invests in a piece of art, the contemporary art market frequently uses the practice of issuing a certificate of authenticity to the buyer. NFTs provide the same role as a certificate of authenticity, but instead of relying on paper evidence, they utilize the cryptographic protocols built into blockchain technology. The non-fungible token verifies the artwork's ownership. It records each time the artwork is sold or otherwise transferred from one person to another, providing a record of the artwork's pedigree. The removal of a significant amount of doubt, brought about by easily verified provenance and publicly stated transactions, will bring about a significant shift in the art market. After all, the authenticity of an artwork, which can be demonstrated through the provision of transparent evidence regarding its provenance, is the primary factor determining the monetary value of that artwork. How can one collect digital art? Artists can raise funds for their work by selling small pieces. The way that this is done is through a process called tokenization. This process works as follows: an artist sells a fraction of an artwork divided into tokens for a specific amount of money per token. The artist lists the number of tokens available to the public and sets a price per token based on how much money they initially raised. The size of the artwork is not considered because NFTs are divisible to any amount the artist wants. Then, the artist posts a document on their website detailing all fees related to tokenization and what they will do if demand exceeds supply. The artist lists all fees, including banking charges, conversion fees, insurance costs, record-keeping costs, and administrative costs. They also list how much money they want to raise and how much they will keep for themselves after tokenization. Conclusion: the fact that the blockchain can easily keep an extensive record of transactions will make NFTs an attractive asset for investors. The ability to buy fractional art pieces will keep art market value steady and rising due to a smaller supply of assets in circulation. These changes mean that individuals can invest in art and raise its value while still being able to share ownership with others. Additionally, the transparency of NFTs provides confidence that was never before available in the art market. Non-fungible tokens, NFTs, have changed digital art and the art market. They will continue to transform both areas in the future and bring about a new era of fine art investment.